What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about my comic book collection. So the first comic I'm going to be talking about here is probably my favorite one that I have in this collection, Batman the Killing Joke. And this one was done by Alan Moore. He's probably one of the best artists that DC has that does some of these Batman comics. And I do not own the rights to any of these, so they're owned by their respective companies and all that. So no copyright claim, hopefully. So yeah, it shows here Batman's going to Arkham Asylum. They show some of the villains. They show Two-Face there, and Batman's in here talking to the Joker. He sees he's not actually the Joker, just some thug that he hired to pretend to be the Joker. This is a cool comic. It looks even darker like when it's in black and white. I mean, it's easier to see what's going on if it's in color.
Do you prefer comics in black and white or in color?
It all depends.
Yeah.
And here it has an extra comic in it too, where this guy wants to try to off Batman. It's just like a what if comic. He's just like, oh, what happens? And then this is some more of the cover art that
it looks pretty cool.
Artists did. They used to have these in a lot of comics. They don't have them as much anymore, which is sad because some of these are cool. Yeah, that's that one. Yeah, that's a cool one. I think this cost me maybe $30 or something. This is an expensive comic, especially this one. Okay, this is another one of my favorite comics. This is Batman meets the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is an awesome comic where it's Batman does a crossover with the Ninja Turtles. Here's some cool cover art they have at the beginning. It shows them fighting the Foot Clan here. I think it's the Foot Clan. There's a Shredder. It's a really cool design for the Shredder, though. It's more of a traditional design, not the original design for a Shredder, where he's just a human. They're fighting Damian Wayne here. And look, the Batman villain's got the mutagen, so they're turning into animals. This is cool that they have some different cover art. This is the more original, traditional Ninja Turtles animation. This is I think this is actually the first animation for the original Ninja Turtle comic. This is the way they originally animated it. It was more blocky and not as clean. This is back when they were still learning to draw. Now this is cool here. They also show Batman's dinosaur. This is part 2 of the Batman meets the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So that shows them at the beginning here, some cool cover art here. This is Batman's villains teaming up with the Ninja Turtle villains. This is when all the Batman villains get the mutagen, I think. This is some cool, more cool scenes here. And there's Bebop and Rocksteady right here. That's actually a really cool design for Bebop and Rocksteady. I don't know why, at this point in time, when they were animated Batman, they animated him like this. He looks way too big. And then some more cool cover art here. This is the original animation. It really shows, you don't really need to have much art skills when you're designing comic book characters. Yeah, that's that one. I thought, that one's a really cool comic book series. Now, let me look at another Ninja Turtle comic here that I have. This one is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Classics Volume 2. Now, I don't have Volume 1. I've got to see if I can find Volume 1 sometime. Yeah, this is the original animation they actually used for them, where they all had red bandanas. And, because in the 80s they decided to give them multicolored bandanas so you could tell them apart. But yeah, this is how they originally animated them. They were a lot smaller like this. Change the art at some point here because they end up getting into an accident and Splinter has to rebuild them, so he makes them a little bit bigger. Not Shredder, Splinter puts them in robots until he can finish fixing their bodies. It's funny. Here's some cool ones with Batman Beyond. They animate this a little bit differently though. With this one, he actually has a version of his costume where he actually has a full cape. This is actually kind of a short comic. Not sure when this is supposed to be set in the timeline. Somewhere way in the future. I'm not even really sure which version of Batman it's supposed to be. This is another Batman Beyond comic. I think it's in the same series too with the other one. The animation in this is kind of cool. It's kind of dark and gritty. I think that's supposed to be the original Superman, actually. It's not Superman's son. Yeah, it doesn't really have Batman Beyond in this one as much. Yeah, this was a cool comic, though. This is another Batman comic. It's just like an original Batman comic where it was made out of the newspaper kind of paper instead of like the, like the more plasticky paper with like the newer comics. This is a cool one. It has a little like ads in it for toys. And this one it shows Batman fighting a ninja, which is pretty cool. Kind of like the Adam West Batman, I guess. Okay, now this was a really cool comic. It was a Deadpool and Cable comic called Split Second. Some cool cover art at the beginning of Deadpool and Cable fighting. And then, it's funny because on this one, Deadpool he's like married to this lady who I think she's a succubus. But yeah, that's what she actually looks like right here. That's cool there. She turns into like the giant monster that she actually looks like and scares Deadpool. But yeah, then here, Cable comes and there's something going on there's something that's happening that he's trying to stop. And Deadpool's like messing with him and trying to help him or something. And then they do some time travel and stuff. This is a cool one. In the future here, it's got some cool future tech on him. Deadpool messing with Spider-Man. This is cool. It's like he's got like a Wolverine power with his claws. This was a cool comic. That's cool. They poke fun at the Back to the Future scene here of Deadpool and Cable. They got their watches. But yeah, that was a cool comic book. This is gonna be a Spider-Man comic. So I guess Spider-Man's fighting with Wolverine in this one. He's got his like amazing Spider-Man suit on too. It's like more teched up. He's fighting Wolverine, I think. Yeah, this is a cool one. Now this is cool. It's a Green Hornet comic book. I remember when that movie came out, The Green Hornet. Originally, The Green Hornet was a radio series. And then they made it into a comic book series at some point. I think I got this at Ollie's. There's like a section where they have like the newspaper comic books for like $1. Okay, this is another like newspaper kind of like comic book. Not like the modern ones where like it's like a vinyl kind of like paper and it's like has a hard cover. And it's cool how they designed his webs here originally. It kind of looks like barbed wire, kind of. That's originally how they designed it in the comics. I thought it was cool how they used that again in this one. Yeah. Now this is one of my prized comic books in my comic book collection. This comic book has the entire Crisis on Infinite Earths comic book storyline. So it has every single issue. So this is like in 1985. And it was a 12-issue comic book series. So it would have been like, this is like 12 comic books put together. Okay, now this is cool. This is actually the guys from the Crime Syndicate in one of the Earth versions of Earth where all the superheroes are the villains and the villains are the superheroes. So Lex Luthor is a superhero and he marries Lois Lane and they have a kid. And then Superman is actually Ultraman. They start recruiting people from different realities. There's the Old Man Superman, there's the Blue Beetle, the original Blue Beetle comic, before he got the tech. This is the original Blue Beetle. So like he found the Blue Beetle scarab in Egypt, and he wasn't able to open it, so he just made his own costume and tech. And then I think like the new Blue Beetle, he ended up finding the scarab and it actually attached to him and it was like controlling him and he actually looked completely different. He looked a little more like this guy here, but not with like the cape. And there's the Flash. And some of these have like callbacks to other comics, so you'd have to go and read that comic to know where these superheroes are coming from when they enter into this one. Yeah, this was a cool one. I think it cost me probably like $50 or something like that. It's pretty expensive. Oh, actually it was cheaper. It was like $30. So that's not that bad for this whole comic book series in this. This is a Green Lantern comic. It has Green Lantern on the cover, the original Green Lantern. And there's Bart Allen as Impulse. Oh, and this is, there's Hour Man right here. He can only use his power for 1 hour every day. It's concept art here. That's actually Superboy. Connor Kent. Now, here's another Batman Beyond comic here. Some cool cover art there. Power Girl of Superman. It's like a short comic. And then here's a Silver Surfer comic. I did not know that they had comics of him. I thought he was just like a villain for the Fantastic Four, but he has his own comics. Some X-Men. Okay, this is a cool one. And then I think this is the Teen Titans. It's called Teen Titans. I don't know why it's like that, because it's not the Teen Titans. I don't know. What's that one? And then here's like a thing called Villains United, where it's like a group of the different DC villains teaming up together. There's Cheetah. That's a short comic. Yeah, that was a neat one. Then they made Sabrina the Teenage Witch into a comic book series, which is interesting because I remember watching the animated series, and I also watched the live-action series made in the 90s. I did not know this was a comic book series. It looks really dark and gritty. An ad for Riverdale. Yeah, that's a neat comic. And then there's another Batman Beyond comic book here, and it has Superman in it. If I can get it out. An ad for Arrow. The whole like new Justice League. I think that's actually Superman there. Like Clark Kent Superman. He's just like old, obviously. The thing is, like, would he get gray hair though? Like, does he just age slowly? There's Batman Beyond fighting people. What's interesting, because like, although it's called Batman Beyond, so they can differentiate it from the original Batman, they don't call him Batman Beyond in it. They just call him Batman, which is odd. Like, I don't know. But yeah, that's a cool comic.